Welcome to Hank Greenberg Field, where your Parkersburg South Patriots play host to the Nitro Wildcats.
I'm Lori Ullman Wright alongside Callie Tanner. And we are here as part of the Wood County Technical Center broadcast program. We would like to thank Wood County Schools and Kanawha County Schools, our partners in education, CAS Cable, for allowing us this opportunity. The Patriots are warming up on the field, and tonight we have in the infield, it is Chris Smith who will start off pitching. Bo Burtis is behind the plate. Wes Mitchum is at first. Braxton Johnson is at second base. Dustin Helmig at third. Clay Waters is our shortstop. Right field is Jacob Wilcox. Center field, Tyler Berry, and Adam McCray is your right fielder. And starting out, Callie, who can we expect to see in the lineup tonight for the Nitro Wildcats?
Number 6 is Daniel Ramsey. Number 12 is Solomon Shamblin. Number 17 is Corey Dunbar. Number 24 is Jacob Brown. Number 8 is Tyler Godby. Number 15, Ben Spurlek. Number 4, Matt Harmon. Number Levi Whitehead.
And there is the first hit as Daniel Ramsey puts it into the gap in the outfield, bringing it back, and it will be a single for the Wildcats. Coming up next to the plate is shortstop Solomon Shamblin, and let's see what he can do following that early hit. They're going to call that a strike, Callie.
Pitch count is 0-1.
Smith very patient on the mound as he tries for the bunt. And that will be foul ball, bringing up strike 2. Smith watching the runner on first, checking. And it's a dead ball as that connects with Shamblin in the helmet, and that will advance him to first base. Callie, it's right here that we have seen Chris Smith settle in very nicely into a rhythm for the Patriots. Not the way the Patriots wanted to start tonight after having had some trouble. However, it is nice to see Bo Burtis behind the plate again. I noticed when he was hitting against the Ripley Vikings last Friday that he had some difficulty with his hand. It was wrapped. Nice hit by Corey Dunbar. And that will be out of the park. And that will be 2 RBIs on that home run. And immediately Nitro takes on a lead over your Parkersburg South Patriots. And Callie, that's certainly not the way that the Patriots wanted to start this evening. Nitro, having lost 6 starters, called this a rebuilding year. They also have 6 seniors that they start again. Corey Dunbar, who hit the home run, is the catcher for the Wildcats. As number 24, Jacob Brown, the third baseman, comes to the plate. Lefty with a right-handed pitcher, a lot of success there, but he's calling that strike 1.
And that would be a ball, leaving the pitch count 1-1.
Smith walking it off. And that is a nice strike, too, as he gets him swinging.
and that will be a ball outside.
And a nice high hit, and it is going to be snagged by Wilcox for the Patriots, and that will bring up the first out of this inning. Up to bat now for the Nitro Wildcats is center fielder Tyler Godby. And that'll be ball one. Foul ball.
Pitch count is 1-1.
Not real sure what he called that, but I think that he called that a ball. So that'll bring our pitch count now to 2-1. That brings up another strike.
Pitch count is 2-2.
Interesting strategy, Callie, that we've seen in the last few games we've been able to air. And again, hits him right in the helmet, and he will advance to first. Smith looking a little frustrated very early on in the top of this inning. Smith has been pretty consistent. Just needs to get this first inning jinners out of the way, and that brings our designated hitter Ben Spurlock up, and it's going to be a short hop to right field, and Wilcox is able to snag that for out number 2 and maintains the runner at first. So Godby gets to go nowhere as Wilcox is able to get underneath that ball for that second out. Right now, coming to the plate is number 7, Levi Whitehead. He is the second baseman for the Wildcats. Foul ball.
Pitch count is now 0-1.
Awaiting the pitch. Runner's going to second as that ball gets away from Bo Burtis. Pitch count now is 1-1. Ball just got slightly underneath him, and that gave Godby the opportunity for the steal.
That would be a strike for number 7, Levi Whitehead, leaving the pitch count at 1-2.
And
that would be strike 3.
Bringing up our third out and taking us now to the bottom of the inning. And let's see, the Patriots here are looking to get some runs. They don't want to let that lead increase too much. Smith was certainly able to get out of the inning.
Patriots kind of had a rocky start there.
Yes, they did. But the good news is that by striking out Whitehead, they left a runner at second, which was a potential scoring position. So not able to capitalize right there. That may hopefully play into some strategy with the Wildcats. But right now, let's see
First at bat for your Parkersburg South Patriots,
how
number
Clay
1,
Waters
Clay Walters
does in his first at bat in this game.
He is shortstop for Parkersburg South.
That's right. And that'll be ball 1. See if he has that same little thing we've seen the past couple games where the bat remains in motion. No, he does not. And they're going to call that ball low. It'll be ball 2. Oh, ball outside, way outside. Kind of a interesting pitch there by Daniel Ramsey. And certainly this is a hitter's count. And he's going to take the base. And again, not the way that Nitro wanted to see this first at-bat for the Patriots go, but certainly the way that the Patriots would like to see that. We now have a runner on first for your Parkersburg South Patriots as Braxton Johnson steps into the batter's box.
That would be the first ball. Pitch count 1-0. And we are awaiting the pitch. Second ball, outside. Pitch count 2-0. Ball number 3.
Ramsey checking his runner at first.
That'd be the first strike, leaving the pitch count 3-1.
Ramsey's certainly checking on Walters, taking his time, debating what he wants to do here.
Ball number 4.
So again, Callie, the second time back-to-back walks in this inning. And that brings to bat number 34, Dustin Helmick.
And he is your third baseman for Parkersburg South Patriots.
And Ramsey now has a little bit of a dilemma. He's got runners at first and second, wanting to check as he gets that strike, first strike so far. No, I'm sorry, second strike of the inning. And he is still checking on Walters. Ball 1. He did not go all the way around, was able to check his swing. And another ball looked like it was going to get just underneath Cody Dunbar, but he was able to retrieve it. So Walters remains on second, keeping a very tight watch on his runners now. Ramsey's looking.
Third ball, leaving the pitch count 3-1.
And Callie, I have to say, we have seen this before this inning. This is a very important pitch now for Daniel Ramsey. And that brings up strike 2. So, Callie, we're at a full count.
Yes.
And Helmick now really has to protect the plate. And wow, that's a good description. Wow. 3 walks in a row for Daniel Ramsey. And at this point, I'm just wondering what head coach Stephen Pritchard is thinking right now. And I see what he's thinking. They are going to make a pitching change. And it appears that the third baseman, Jacob Brown, will be coming to the mound, I think. He is. So there will be a pitching change right here after 3 batters. And we will give Mr. Brown some time to warm up here. Pritchard's still on the mound discussing something with his team. And already, Callie, we can see some differences in pitching styles.
Oh, definitely.
A lot more consistent across the plate. Of course, they often look that way before they warm up. So we'll make some adjustments here in our lineup. Now that Jacob Brown has been moved, and it'll be interesting to see who is replacing him at third. Gotta be honest, I cannot see his number from here. It looks like it could be Ryan McDonough that they've moved in from left field. And I think it may be. So my question is, what did I do with my binoculars so I can see who is headed to left field? That must be a bad sign. I need better glasses. And now Wes Mitchum steps into the batter's box for the Patriots.
He is the first baseman for Parkersburg South.
Nice
nice
hit out to right field.
Oh.
And that is,
he has 2 RBIs on the night with that single.
2 runs.
Helmick now moves on to second base, and that is exactly what the Patriots were looking for.
Number 4, Jacob Wilcox is in the batter's box now.
Wilcox is the left fielder for the Patriots.
That would be the first ball.
And Brown checking his runners.
Ooh.
And Wilcox will take one to the
now at bat number 16,
shoulder,
Adam McCray.
and that will bring
Number 16, Adam McCray to the batter's box.
and that now gives the Patriots runners at first, second, and third. And they called that a strike.
Seemed to be a ball to me.
I would agree, but we are not the ones charged with that.
No.
And it is, we are pitching, seeing it from a different angle because he is pitching to a left-hander.
Yes.
So, comes under the category of what do we know?
Yes.
That will be strike 3. First
Now at
out
bat for your Parkersburg
of
South
the
Patriots, number 35,
bottom of this inning.
Anthony Cornell.
Number 35, Anthony Cornell, is a designated hitter, and he is coming up to the batting box.
And again, another left-hander. So let's see how the umpire does this one. And Jacob Brown, nice pitch there for the Nitro Wildcats. And again, 2 strikes. I do believe he likes that fastball. Again, checking his runners. And Cornell goes down swinging for out number 2 for the Patriots.
So now at bat for your Parkersburg South Patriots, catcher number 21.
Number
Bo
21,
Burtis.
Bo Burtis is coming up to the batter's box.
And let's see if he still has, no? Yes, he still has his fingers bandaged, but is able to grip the bat a little bit better than we saw against the Ripley Vikings. And they're going to call that strike 1 on Burtis. And Burtis able to get just a piece of that. And that will bring up
Strike number 2. Pitch count is 0-2.
Burtis makes his final preparations, but Brown doesn't seem to be in a big hurry. And that'll give us ball 1.
Pitch count is 1-2.
A nice hit if it will stay in play. And they are calling that foul ball as it goes just over the third base line. So even though it is a foul ball, that means that Burtis stays alive in the batter's box. Let's see what Brown's going to do. And that will be strike 3 swinging, and that will be the end of the first inning, where it is the Nitro Wildcats 3, your Parkersburg South Patriots 2. And we are back at Hank Greenberg Field as we are making some final preparations here. Parkersburg South Patriots warming up on the infield as we will go to the bottom of the lineup for the Nitro Wildcats. As we await the arrival of our first batter.
Number 28, Ryan McDonough.
McDonough is the
Left fielder.
for the Wildcats.
Yes.
And Burtis now in excuse me, in his full gear. Had a little trouble there on second base, missing that final
Now to bat for the
final
Nitro
preparation.
Wildcats, number 28, Ryan McDonough.
And here is Ryan McDonough up to bat.
And that'll be strike 1.
Definitely a ball.
Outside.
Pitch count 1-1.
Smith taking his time. They're going to call that foul ball as McDonough attempted the bunt.
Pitch count is now 1-2. Ball outside, and pitch count is now 2-2.
Smith taking his time. Nice pitch as he gets him to swing, and that is strike 3 and the first out for the first batter in the top of the second.
Number 10, Justin Clark, steps up to the batter box. He is the first baseman for Nitro.
Again, another left-hander. They're going to call that ball high. And over the past few games, I've had the opportunity to observe this constant motion of the bat, some of it very large, some of it very small, by the batters. And then all of a sudden it'll stop just a half a second before they swing, and I'm not sure why they do it. I have questioned whether it's a matter of physics. I haven't gotten a good answer to that question.
That was definitely a foul ball.
Foul ball. So that now brings the pitch count to
2 and 2.
Nice high fly ball. It is out of the third baseline and just slightly outside the fence. So Clark will remain alive in the box. But the Patriots now feeling a little bit better about the way this inning has started, I would think. Comes a pitch right back to the pitcher, unable to get a handle on it. And he will take first base.
Now at bat for the Nitro Wildcats, number 6, Daniel
Up to bat is
Ramsey.
Daniel Ramsey, number 6.
He was the pitcher for
Nitro Wildcats.
And I just have to wonder if he has now been moved to that outfielder position. And that'll be ball 1.
Straight into left field.
And that will advance the runner as he gets a single, but that also means that Clark is
Number
held
12, Solomon
at second
Champion.
base.
Up to bat now is number 12, Solomon Shamblin.
Shamlin, a name well known in this part of the state. Particularly at Parkersburg South High School. Have to wonder if this is a relative. And a nice little hit to the shortstop out at second. Double play at first. What an inning. And the Wildcats fail to score on that at bat. And that will bring us to the bottom of the second. The Patriots playing well tonight, and we will take a brief timeout.
There had seemed to be some trouble with the pitcher in the beginning of this game. It was Daniel Ramsey, number 6, and they switched pitchers to Ryan McDonough, number 28. Up first to bat will be number 29, Tyler Berry, looks like, for Parkersburg South High School. And we await the pitch.
Now at bat, number 29, Tyler Berry.
And Barry comes in with ball 1. And now ball 2 to the outside. Thrown by Jacob Brown. And Brown feeling a little better now, as that was strike one.
Pitch count is 2-1.
Nice hit to left field.
Now to bat for your Parkersburg South Patriots, number 1, Clay Walters.
Number 1, Clay Walters, is coming up to bat for the Parkersburg South Patriots, while Tyler Berry is on first.
So the Patriots now have a runner at first that they're hoping to put in scoring position with this hit by Walters. But that is going to be out at first for Walters. However, Berry remains safe at second.
Braxton Johnson.
Braxton Johnson is up to bat for the Parkersburg South Patriots. He's number 25. Waiting the pitch. And that will be the first ball.
And Brown was certainly watching Berry on second. Patriots known for their aggressive style of play.
Second ball.
And Berry very aware of what it's going to take to make that steal to third. And a nice high hit. Let's see if they can get under it, and they do not. As Johnson gets it just out of range for the shortstop. It appears they may have lost it in the sun, but that certainly advances Berry to third on that single. And now we have yet another Patriot in scoring position.
Number 34, Dustin Helmick, is up to bat now. He's third baseman for Parkersburg South High School.
Nitro's Brown unhappy with the situation. I'm going to call that ball. He's got split runners, and now he has to make a decision. As he checks the runners, foul ball.
He's really keeping his eye on those runners.
Absolutely, because we've got runner at third, obviously in scoring position, and the decision he's going to have to make, if this hit comes and he has an opportunity to get his hands on it, does he throw him out at home, or let the runner advance to first and second, or does he try for let the runner go and try for a double play from second to first? And that is ball. And he is not going. Johnson is staying exactly where he is.
Pitch count is 2-1.
Interesting fact about Corey Dunbar, he is a junior on this Nitro team and already has a verbal commitment to North Carolina.
Wow.
So nothing's really going to get by him very much.
Oh no, definitely not.
As Brown steps off the mound, deciding what he's going to do. Interesting to watch Johnson hop back there so quickly. They're going to call that strike.
Pitch count is now 2-2.
And nice hit just over the second baseman's head. He loses his glove, and that's going to score Barry, and it could score. No, Johnson decided not to go for it, but that certainly puts him in scoring position as Helmick hits it into the gap between the center fielder and right fielder for that nice single.
Number 32, Wes Mitchum, is up to bat now. We are now tied. Parkersburg South Patriots 3, Nitro 3.
And that is the way the Patriots like to play. And again, heads it into the gap, but it is going to be caught for the out. And Johnson will score.
Now to bat, number 4.
So 2 outs in the inning. Patriots take the lead here.
Number 4, Jacob Wilcox, is coming up to bat now.
Which leaves Helmick on first. 2 outs.
Parkersburg Patriots in the lead with 4. Nitro Wildcats with 3.
And Brown wants to get out of this inning, as he calls that strike 1. Ball high. Helmick decided to come right back to first there. Notice his lead is not as large as it has been in the past, and I can understand why. Nice grounder right past the pitcher. Helmick's going to 2. He's making the turn for 3, and he's going to stay.
Slide right at 3.
But that's going to allow Wilcox to advance to second on that error by the third baseman. So your Parkersburg South Patriots now with runners at second and third as
number 16, Adam McCray, comes up to bat.
Strike 1. Brown checking his runners. And again, just that little bobble of the head indicates he wants to get out of this inning. Ball high. Certainly ball outside there.
Pitch count is now 2-1. That would be strike number 2, leaving the pitch count 2-2. Strike 3.
So as we end this inning on that third strike, your Parkersburg South Patriots a lead by 1, 4-3 over the Nitro Wildcats, and we'll be back.
The Patriots are warming up here on the field, and it's been a very interesting game so far with the whole Nitro switching pitchers.
After the third batter in the first inning, something that I have not seen so far this season, Callie, you are right, it is very interesting. And then to have Chris Smith come back and virtually 3 up, 3 down, they allowed only one hit in the second inning. And this is the kind of Patriot ball I'm a little more acquainted with seeing.
Yes, they are very aggressive.
They are aggressive, but they're not obviously they're playing very smart today,
Mm-hmm.
not trying to push too hard, having watched Nitro play, and the fact that Nitro has been the two-time state champion for Class AAA in the past 2 years.
Number 17, Corey Dunbar, just hit a foul.
This young man has a verbal commitment to the University of North Carolina. How exciting is that?
That is great to hear.
As a junior.
Yeah.
And we have seen he is very aggressive behind the plate as well as in the batter's box.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a ball on the outside, leaving the pitch count 1-1. Strike number 2.
Ball high.
Excuse me, that was a ball.
A little outside that strike zone there as Burtis had to come up and get it.
That will be another ball on the outside, making that the 3rd ball.
Okay, I think you're right. The umpire just said 2-2, and what we thought was a ball is apparently a strike, and this will now be the 3rd ball. Good for you. And we are at full count, ladies and gentlemen. And a walk. That is Chris Smith's first walk of the game.
Number 24, Jacob Brown is coming up to bat.
And so now we have pitcher versus pitcher. Happens at least inning or 2.
Mm-hmm. That would be the first strike.
Smith looks a little bit happier with that pitch. And a nice high hit. See if Wilcox can get under it, and he does. Nice out. So that will leave Dunbar at first with the first out of the inning.
Number 8, Tyler Godby's coming up to bat now.
He is the center fielder for the Nitro Wildcats.
That will be the first strike.
And he's another one that uses that bat in motion right till the pitch is thrown. It'd be a low, low ball on that one, Callie.
Pitch count is 1-1. Strike number 2, leaving the pitch count 1-2.
Oh, nice hit out to right field, and he did not shave, but they are going to call that a foul ball as it does not stay inside that extended first base line. So Godby will be back into the batter's box. He remains safe. Dunbar on first, and Chris Smith on the mound checking his runner, debating what he's going to do, and he didn't see something that he liked when Burtis was giving him the signal. He likes it better now. That would be ball high.
Pitch count is now 2-2.
Oh, and a nice hit. Let's see if Wilcox can get there in time.
He does not.
Goes to the fence, right into the gap. Dunbar comes around, and Dunbar will score. Godby will remain on second. A nice hit to the fence.
Score is now tied 4-4. Number 15, Ben Spurlock, is coming up to bat.
He is the designated hitter for right fielder Matt Harmon. Oh, and right past the pitcher, couldn't get his hands on it as it goes out to center field, and they're going to try, going nowhere, but there's a brief error, and Spurlock decides to remain at first. So he has an RBI under his belt with that hit.
Number 7, Levi Whitehead, will be batting up next.
And that means that the Nitro Wildcats move ahead 1 run over the Parkersburg South Patriots. The umpire making a notation. There's a meeting on the mound. Looks like, no. Burtis and Smith are having a brief discussion. No change is made as yet.
Awaiting the pitch.
And Smith couldn't hold on to it. And that allows a single on that interesting, although bobbled little hit by Levi Whitehead. But we now have runners at first and second, and Smith looking a little frustrated.
Ryan McDonough is up to bat.
He is now your third baseman for the Wildcats.
The pitch count is now 0-1. Excuse me, 1-0.
And a nice little hit there by the second baseman, or to the second baseman. And they're going to call him out at second, which is as it should be. And that brings out the second out of the inning as McDonough hits it right to our second baseman, and he remains at first. So now the Wildcats with runners at first and third. And stepping into the batter's box is number 10, Justin Clark, the first baseman.
That was definitely a foul ball.
Which brings up strike 1. Clark checking his swing there.
We are awaiting the pitch. He's checking his runners. Oh.
He's going to run him down, throw to second. He's going to bring him back. Tags him at first. For the third out. Interesting. Very interesting game as McDonough gets tagged out by the first baseman for the third out. And that run obviously did not count. So Justin Clark with one swing in there. And this will get us out of this inning. Really did not expect him to run on the steal, let alone have Smith be part of the rundown as he threw to second. But McDonough really was trying to play aggressive ball and make that steal. May not have been the best decision for the Wildcats, but we'll see what happens in the bottom of the third as your Parkersburg South Patriots are up to bat.
Number 35, Anthony Cornell, is up to bat. He is the designated hitter. Pitch count is now 1-0.
Yes, Cornell is the designated hitter for pitcher Chris Smith.
Foul ball. Pitch count is 1-1.
Brown didn't like the signal he got from Dunbar there. And a swing and a miss. Strike 2.
That was a foul ball right behind him.
And that keeps Smith alive in the box.
And he strikes out.
So the bottom of the third starts with a strikeout by Anthony Cornell. And that will bring catcher Bo Burtis into the batter's box. And Burtis so far with only one at-bat prior to this, and he was struck out. And that was part of that pitching change when Brown was fresh on the mound.
That's a foul ball. And strike number 2. Pitch count is 0-2. Looks like another foul ball.
Which again keeps Burtis alive in the box.
We are awaiting the pitch.
And he was missed that ball, but could not get down the baseline in time to be safe at first. So that is out number 2. As Dunbar allowed a ball to get past him. And Dunbar is going to have a brief chat with Jacob Brown, the pitcher for Nitro. I always wonder what they say. Obviously, he didn't like one of the calls, or maybe he wants him to use a different pitch than he's been using. But either way.
Number 29, Tyler Berry, is up to bat.
Oh, nice hit.
Straight to
Left field, and they were unable to get a handle on it. He's at first. Looks like he's going to make it safely to second, but he is going to remain there as the second baseman was unable to get a hold of that.
Number 1, Clay Walters, is up to bat now for the Parkersburg South Patriots.
And what a position to be in. 2 outs with a runner on second, and still very early into the bottom of this inning. I'm not sure I'd want to be standing at bat right now.
A lot of pressure.
And that's one of the things that makes baseball so interesting in their individual performance and how they handle pressure at the plate.
Yes. That was a ball inside, making the pitch count 1-0. Awaiting the pitch, checking his runners there.
And he did decide to go ahead and make the throw. Barry able to get back in time. And again, the Parkersburg South Patriots not taking as far a lead, as big a lead as I have seen in previous games. And they're going to call that foul, but he was able to get to catch it, and that brings up the 3rd out for the Patriots.
And we welcome you back here to Hank Greenberg Field. So, as I've been watching this game through and through, not the greatest of defenses. I mean, they're showing good improvement, not very consistent from inning to inning. giving up some key runs here, both sides. So, I mean, leading to a higher score. Both teams scoring the majority of their runs, though, earlier in the game. So you see this a lot in high school baseball, though, getting the, I guess, beginning game jitters out. What do you think?
Well, we want to first welcome you, Brandon Leisure, to the booth. We are doing some trade-off, giving some of the broadcasting students the opportunity to try some new things as Callie is on to try something new right now. I would like to say also that these are the juniors in the program, and they will be seniors next year, leading the way for a whole new group. And Brandon, you're right. They did score. Both teams have scored earlier on in the game as we head into the top of the fourth inning. Defenses have been brilliant at times and not so good at times, but one of the things that we have not seen so far is the outfield has not really been able to see which way it's going to go to shave, right or left. Oh, and a nice hop right there as number 10, Justin Clark, hits it right back to the pitcher for the first out of this fourth inning.
Good awareness there by Chris Smith. Saw the pop-up coming, hauled it down instantly.
And Smith missed an opportunity earlier on and had an error in the early part of the game. And again, unable to get on it. Error there by the shortstop. Just got in front of the ball, was able to knock it down, but was not able to hold on to it. And we will see a runner at first.
And that's another thing that we've been seeing throughout with this Parkersburg South team, actually throughout this whole season. Infield has been rocky. Some games you see them outstanding. Some games not very good glove work at all. Another thing with consistency.
And that'll be strike one for Solomon Shamlin as he takes his first pitch in the batter's box. However, this Patriot team is playing a lot more like the Patriots that I have seen in games past. Going to take the runner out at first and leave runner stranded at second with that hit to third base.
Chris Smith showing his good variety of pitches at times. Showing he does have a few, I guess you could say, different pitches he throws in there, which is a good thing to see in a pitcher nowadays. As I mean, sometimes you see just one pitcher that throws nothing but a fastball. Sometimes you see pitchers that throw nothing but off-speed pitches. Smith, one of those guys that has a whole arsenal to throw at you.
As Corey Dunbar takes his first pitch, and it will be ball one. Dunbar, Brandon, I didn't know if you heard part of this conversation earlier, is the junior catcher for the Wildcats, and it already has a verbal commitment to the University of North Carolina.
And that's a very big feat there for Dunbar. I mean, from little leagues to high school, you're always dreaming of going to college and then playing in the big leagues. And Dunbar is living out that dream, especially now as only a junior, verbally committing to the University of North Carolina, which is a pretty big university.
Absolutely.
In sports.
Pitch count with that ball now moves to 2-1 against Dunbar.
And something earlier I noticed about Dunbar. Dunbar, only a junior, still seems like the emotional guy on the team. I mean, he'll tell you if you're doing something wrong, and if you're not, as a guy steals third.
Yes, he does. Let's see. Nope, they're going to call that foul ball, and he will have to go back to second. So I got all excited and made another mark in the scorebook there. And Dunbar now with a pitch count that's 2-2. As Smith steps off the mound to make the throw.
And like I mentioned earlier, you can definitely tell his defense is starting to tighten up, becoming a team instead of playing as all individuals. We did see a couple errors there in the infield, as he'll try to steal third once again. And not a very good throw from Bo Burtis, and he cannot get the out at third.
Well, having had an injury, a very major injury in middle school ball here in this county with the steal to third, there has been minimal, though there has been discussion about bringing back the full cage mask. And anything under college ball. And a nice hit. Looks like it's going into right field. Can he hold on to it? And he just misses it as Ramsey is able to score there. And Dunbar makes his way to second.
And something that a coach likes to see in his players, the Nitro Wildcats are coming out and swinging aggressively. Not pulling back at any pitches that they think they can hit. Every pitch that looks hittable, they'll swing their bat at. And as you can tell, right now, with them up by 2 runs, 6-4, it's definitely working.
And the Wildcats, Brandon, as you said, is known to play aggressive ball, having been the AAA state champs the last 2 years. But as Pritchard has said, it is a rebuilding year, and that is strike 1 against Jacob Brown.
And you see a lot of the state championship teams nowadays in baseball coming out of that area, coming out of like the Charleston area, further down south in the state.
Yes, as Burgess lets that ball get just behind him, allowing Dunbar to steal third.
I mean, it'd be nice to see another team from, I guess, another region of West Virginia step out as the ultimate team in the state, as both Parkersburg teams have been trying to do lately in these couple years, both teams showing that they have the skills to go far.
And as one of the coaches said earlier, this is all practice leading us into regionals and sectionals. And that will bring up strike 2 against Brown. So the pitch count is 1-2.
So the pitch comes in, and it will be fouled left outside the third baseline.
Pitch count remains 1-2 as Brown stays alive in the box. Smith taking his time here. Doesn't appear to be in any hurry whatsoever.
And a ball there to the outside to make the count 2-2. Brown seemed like he was going to swing at that one, but then at the last second pulled back. And that one will get low into the outside.
Burgess ready to throw down the third base line, but Dunbar already heading back to the base. And Brandon, as that pitch comes in, nice hit. But it will also be fouled down the third base line.
Oh, go ahead.
I do have a question, Brandon. I have asked a couple people, and they say that it's a matter of physics, though they haven't been able to explain it to me. As Brown is one of these players who keeps that bat in constant motion and just until right after that pitch is delivered, what is the purpose?
Well, I mean, it's something that our Little League coaches always kind of taught to us. It was always kind of on our back burner. I mean, ever since Little League, it becomes a habit. And you see every other guy have a kind of different approach, as you also see in the major leagues. But in high school also, I mean, it's just kind of a habit. It's always in the back of your mind. You're always wobbling that bat.
So it's more of a habit than a matter of physics.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely never really think about it being as a matter of physics.
And that makes a little more sense to me. And now it is the Nitro Wildcats 6, your Parkersburg South Patriots 4, as we head into the bottom of the fourth, and we'll be back.
Last inning, we saw some definite defense out of the Parkersburg South Patriots. Looked a lot better than earlier in the game. But once again, we also saw these Nitro Wildcats coming out and being aggressive. Like you said earlier, Nitro known as a more of aggressive team. I mean, a back-to-back state champions. That's just a great feat. And Parkersburg South Patriots, though, are holding up pretty well with these Nitro Wildcats.
Well, they are playing much better ball than we've seen out of the Patriots in the last 3 games that we have covered. particularly seems that they have finally rebounded from that loss at home against the Parkersburg Big Reds in the second game of the City Series. And now that means that PHS and South has split that City Series, and they have been able to move on. Unfortunately, last week was kind of a rough week for the Patriots in 3 games, 3 losses, 2 at home, 1 on the road. But they have rebounded, worked on fundamentals, and after that first inning jitters, you're right, Brandon, they have settled down and come to play.
And as Braxton Johnson will take his first swing, it'll be a strike. Johnson today has had a pretty decent day. I mean, scoring twice now, I mean, that's always a pretty good feeling when you can score twice in a game and help out your team. As he pops that one up behind him.
And let's see, and Dunbar is able to catch it for the out.
Once again, seeing Dunbar, I mean, he's obviously a great player, only a junior and verbally committing to North Carolina. I mean, you got to be careful there popping those ones up behind you with a catcher of that caliber.
And he showed exactly what he is able to do. He's very quick to get the mask off.
So Dustin Helmick will come into the batter's box.
And the Patriots now getting a little more aggressive in the box as they are down 2 runs.
And once again, you see that curveball there by Jacob Brown. I mean, just a vicious curveball as right as it approaches to the batter, you're thinking ball, 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 and all of a sudden it'll curve into the strike zone. I mean, you can't get any better technique as that. And another thing, Dustin Helmick, and always in my mind, will be the City Series hero. As coming up big in the first game of the City Series, beating the Parkersburg High School.
With a hit very similar to that as it goes, and he is not able to hold on to it just inside the fence.
So we definitely know that Dustin Helmick does have the ability to hit one over the fence as he hits that one to the fence. So number 32, Wes Mitchum, will come into the batter's box.
And again, Helmick must have heard you talking about him. He always gets those big hits when you talk about him, Brandon.
His ears must be burning.
Maybe we should have you talk about him some more in the booth.
I'll never forget that night. And that curveball once again by Jacob Brown. Curving there right at the last second.
Well, Nitro does have to be very happy with the pitching change that they made after the third batter in the first inning. And we see it again. Pitch count now 0-2.
So 2 off-speed pitches back-to-back here. And you're almost expecting a fastball or maybe another off-speed pitch to get Mitchum swinging there. And you do see him throw a fastball as Mitchum hits it to center field. And he hauls it in.
And that would be Tyler Godby on that catch for the Wildcats.
And that is the second out. So Jacob Wilcox comes to the batter's box here.
And Wilcox again under some pressure, 2 outs, runner at second. Really needs to make something of his time at bat.
Wilcox has been on base today. And you now have your leadoff man on second with 2 outs. I mean, a good predicament here for the Nitro Wildcats.
And we start with ball 1.
Hummer taking a big leadoff off second. And Brown looking for that curveball, but just can't get it to curve enough to get into the strike zone as it is inside for ball 2. And you mentioned the outfield earlier on both sides, but both sides, I haven't really been seeing them shade, particularly to one side. Both sides playing straight up with the second base.
And that's what I would, exactly my point, Brandon. They have not, and we have seen some consistency in being able for both teams to kind of hit into the gap and really make them work to get underneath the ball, which has been to the Patriots' advantage at least twice. And Helmick deciding not to go after third base on that bobble there by Dunbar. Pitch count now 3-1.
And another pretty big factor here, as at any field, it's a pretty big factor, but especially here at Hank Greenberg Field, the sun. The sun really gets in the eyes of the first baseman and the right fielder, which Sal's head coach had told us this. I'm sorry, but his name's completely slipped my mind.
Coach Matt Knoll.
Coach Matt Noah told us this earlier in the season, that when the sun's up, his first baseman and right fielder has a pretty hard time trying to see the ball coming in. So it really surprised me that the South Parkersburg Patriots haven't really been trying to hit this ball down right field as much as they have.
And interesting enough, as Wilcox is on first following a walk, that is Brown's first walk of the night. And Adam McCray in the box for his second swing.
And that has to make you feel pretty good, get some confidence in you. You're in the fourth inning. I know Brown came in for another pitcher, but only 3 batters into the game. So that has to get your confidence beaming there in your fourth inning, and you've only given up 1 walk.
But we're seeing here, the longer we go with Brown on the mound, the more walks he's actually, or the more balls he's actually throwing, as the pitch count is now 2-1. And as I say that, he throws a strike. Pitch count now moves to 2-2.
Now you know how I felt.
Try not to help him out anymore. Here comes the pitch, and it's ball high. Brandon, we are now at a full count.
Yeah, and something we didn't mention when McCray first stepped up to the batter's box. McCray is a left-handed batter. Brown is a right-handed pitcher. And these left-handed batters usually get the better statistics off of these right-handed pitchers.
That's true. But he was able to strike him out there, and that is the 3rd out of this inning. The Patriots unable to score here as we move in to the bottom of the 4th.
Pretty good showing there by Jacob Brown, and pretty aggressive batting there by Parkersburg South Patriots. Don't turn the channel. We'll be right back. And we welcome you here back to the Hank Greenberg Field as we now have a new pitcher, number 9.
Hunter Hamilton.
If I'm not mistaken here, Hamilton, a younger guy coming in to pitch, as we did see him come in the Parkersburg South High School match, the second game of the series. And he came in to close out the game for the Parkersburg South Patriots. A younger guy here, he throws the ball pretty hard. I mean, it looks to me, though, the past couple times I've seen him pitch, tires his arm out really easily. Maybe that's the reason why they bring him in later into the games. But nonetheless, I mean, a pretty good pitcher, pretty consistent with his pitches. So we'll see what he can do here.
And you're right, he was a closer in that game.
And number 8, Tyler Godby, will be coming to the batter's box to lead off this inning. The Nitro Wildcats are still up 6-4. And Parkersburg South Patriots have to be feeling a little bit sense of urgency here, as they couldn't really get any scores in on that last inning. Still down 2 runs, which I know 2 runs isn't that much, but with the way that this Nitro Wildcats defense has kind of strengthened up here, I guess you would say, you have to be having a little bit of sense of urgency.
I don't know. My son still plays Little League, and every time they're in the batter's box, they have a sense of urgency. and I'm not sure that really changes a lot the older they get. But you really have to have a good mental attitude to play baseball, because big league hitters only are successful 30% of the time they're at bat.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the reason that is batters get up, and we see it all the time here in high school baseball. Batters will come up to the box, and they're thinking, swing for the fences, swing for the fences. Well, you can't do that, and I know they're crosstown rivals, but you look at the Parkersburg High School Big Reds, and they don't do that. As their leadoff man, Greg Loff, can always hit the ball for a base hit.
And he gets the second baseman, Levi Whitehead on that catch. So they start, I'm sorry, that is our second baseman, number 32, I'm sorry, number 25, Braxton Johnson, and I can't read tonight, on the catch for the first out of this inning.
So the pitch will come in, and he will pop it up, but it'll be out of play.
So Spurlock again has had a tendency to do that on at least one at-bat previously. He is the designated hitter for right fielder Matt Harmon.
So the pitch will come in, and it'll be a curve, as a nice base hit there by number 15, Spurlock.
And again, hitting it to right field where the sun can be a problem.
Up to bat for the Nitro Wildcats.
And Levi Whitehead, second baseman, will come to the batter's box.
I tried to give him credit for the catch a minute ago.
Are you sure you brought your right glasses?
I've already said I think I need better ones at least once in the game, and you are correct. I think I need to have that checked. Thanks for reminding me, Brandon. Nice hit again to right field, and let's see if he can hold on to it, and he is not able to do that.
And a very hard catch there for the right fielder, as once again we said the sun is a huge factor, but I mean just a well-hit ball there by Whitehead.
It was a well-hit ball, and Adam McCray was trying to slide underneath that and was just not able to hold on to it. His momentum kept him going, at least that from the angle that we are at here in the press box.
So number 28, Ryan McDonough, will come to the batter's box. As Hamilton checks back to second. There's a time.
Hamilton certainly checking his runners there.
And Hamilton, a left-handed pitcher, actually. I just completely noticed that as his back to the second to third base route right there. So
Slight disadvantage as if he wants to throw the lead runner or toward the lead runner for the out. He's at a slight disadvantage as he has to step off would appear somewhat awkward for us to throw back to second.
then you have to look at it on the other side. A pretty big advantage for him, as he's always facing that first to second base route, I guess you'd call it. So you might see a lot more steals to third and a lot less steals to second.
Pitch count is 1-1 against McDonough. Ball outside. So we now move to 2-1. Hamilton still checking the runners there, Brandon.
Looking pretty worried there. And he will steal third, but it will be a pop out. Both runners will
catch by first baseman, and he is unable to get back to first base before Whitehead was able to remain safe.
And pretty risky there by the Nitro Wildcats, kind of playing a double steal as the man on second tried to steal third and the man on first tried to steal second. So, I mean, especially with a pop-up after that, very lucky there wasn't a double play.
You are correct, because one half second faster, and that would have been outs number 2 and 3. As it is right now, Justin Clark is in the box with 2 outs.
Left-handed pitcher versus a left-handed batter. This should be very interesting, as the first pitch will be a ball high.
And as you pointed out before, this is not the area with a left-hander versus a left-hander where a left-handed batter has a lot of opportunity for success. And Burtis getting ready to throw down to second, but Spurlock makes his way back to the base.
So Justin Clark, it appears that he has been on base one time before in this game as he fouls that one back behind him.
And that brings the pitch count now to 2-1. And Clark was on base. He was able to get a single in the top of the second as it just missed Smith as he brought it right back to him low and fast and kind of dribbled on out past the second baseman.
And another curveball we see here by Hunter Hamilton.
Moves the pitch count to 3-1.
Won't surprise me here if you see a fastball out of Hamilton. And that one will be high, which will walk Clark. And we will go back to the top of the batting order with number 6, Daniel Ramsey.
And Ramsey has hit both balls in this game to the outfield, none consistently to right or left field, but just slightly around center.
And there will be a meeting at the mound as the catcher and the coach come up.
This is not a game or a team that you can really afford to walk a lot of players.
No, because as we've seen earlier in this game, they have the potential to hit one over the fence. And so, I mean, it's kind of bad to be giving up easy runs. It's pretty much what they are, letting people walk and then racking up the RBIs, the Nitro Wildcats are.
And that's exactly what happened in the top of the bottom of the first inning when Nitro made their first pitching change. And Ramsey letting that one go by on the ball.
He's awaiting the pitch.
A little dribbler down third base. He's going to take the out at third, and that will be the third out. Nice awareness on the part of the third baseman.
And Hunter Hamilton able to close that one out with a couple men on base. I mean, pretty dangerous situation there for Hamilton, but he closes that one out. He has to be breathing a little bit better now. And pretty good defense once again by the Parkersburg South Patriots as we will return here back at Hank Greenberg Field.
Jacob Brown remains on the mound for Nitro. After that little bobble in his first walk at the bottom of the fourth inning, I suspected that they might be thinking about making a change, but I don't see anybody warming up in the bullpen for Nitro.
No, definitely having a lot of trust here in Jacob Brown, the Nitro coaches are. I mean, he's pitched a pretty good game so far. I mean, I know he has gave up 4 runs, but a lot of those runs came up as he was thrown in a pretty bad situation in the first inning.
2 of those runs, in fact, were as a result of the previous pitcher's walks, and then a very nice hit on the part of Wes Mitchum to get those 2 runs in and that those 2 RBIs. However, the Patriots were able to hold Nitro to no runs at the top of this inning, and your pitch count now 1-1 against Anthony Cornell.
Yeah, and pretty good news there for the Parkersburg South Patriots, but also pretty bad news here for the Parkersburg South Patriots. Down 2 runs. I mean, they've been playing good on defense. We have to look on the other side. The Nitro Wildcats have been playing good on defense. So, I mean, it's time to really buckle down.
They're going to call that a strike. He checked his swing, but they said that he went far enough around that will count as a strike and make it out number 1. And you can tell that the Parkersburg South fans are not happy about that as head coach Matt Nall kind of jogs in to talk to the umpire about that call. And oh, if you were a little birdie to be down there to hear what was said. And he is going to check with the field ump. And now we will have another meeting of the minds here as the umpires confer. And at the same time, it looked like Dunbar was going to make his way to talk to Brown.
And definitely tell the fans are a little bit more angry about that call than their head coach is.
I don't think
Or
I would
at
say
least
that. There's the opportunity certainly to be more vocal than Coach Null does.
Yeah, or at least he can stay a little bit more quiet when he yells.
And Burtis ready for that first pitch, and it'll be ball 1. Burtis still having a little bit of a problem gripping the bat as we saw against Ripley, but he's holding it a little bit better. And another interesting or inconsistent pitch by Jacob Brown as it goes right past Dunbar on the ground.
And another good trait you like to see in your players as a head coach, I mean, definitely tell Burtis has a lot of heart. He'd much rather stay in the game injured than come out of the game and not play at all.
Absolutely.
Definitely showing that he can fight through the pain and showing leadership out there.
Burtis is a senior on this team, and that will be strike 1. Pitch count now 3-1 for the Patriots.
And we have to point out here, Brown's arm does seem to be getting tired as he's throwing a lot more balls than he did in the beginning of the game. But still, I don't see anybody warming up in the bullpen.
I don't either. Matter of fact, the 4th inning saw the most balls pitched consecutively by Brown. Oh, and he hits Burtis, which will advance the runner to first. Or advance Burtis to first. So the Patriots now have a runner at first as Tyler Berry will step to the box. And there will be a courtesy runner in for Burtis as he is the catcher, and that will be number 24, Logan Dilliner.
So we've seen earlier in this game, Tyler Berry kind of has the consistency of hitting the ball down to left field instead of hitting the ball down to right field, as we talked about earlier. So you still don't really, you see kind of a shade here for the first time out of the Nitro outfield, but still not as big of a shade as you'd think.
You are correct. I really thought that they would certainly take it a little further, but they're not. And he has consistently hit into the gap both times. As Burtis is able to steal second as Dunbar lets one get past him.
Dilliner was able to.
That's true. Dilliner is the courtesy runner. I'm old, Brandon. Be nice to me. Not that old, just older than you.
Well, I mean, you are kind of losing your eyesight.
Brandon.
So now with the runner on second, Barry up at bat. And that one will be called a strike?
A ball.
Ball, excuse me.
So it is pitch count 2-0. Brown certainly is checking his runner. And that'll be the first strike, Brandon.
That'll make the count 2-1.
I was able to see that one.
Just because we have a screen.
Brandon, just remember you're in class with me tomorrow.
So the pitch comes in.
Nice hit, but it's awfully high. Let's see if he can hold on to it, and he is able to snag it.
Dilliner will check back up at second. So Dilliner staying stationary there at second as we go back to the top of the batting order with number 1, Clay Walters, into the batting box.
And Tyler Godby with that catch for the Wildcats.
And Clay has scored in the first inning, but ever since that, really not been able to get it going there as...
He's hit consistently down the first base line, but not enough that it could get past the first baseman. Oh, and the first time he dribbles it down the third base line, but
that'll close out the inning. Still an out for Walters. Has still not been able to really get on base since the first inning. So once again, we see a tight defense there by the Nitro Wildcats, and still Parkersburg South Patriots is still not able to score in a run, as they definitely had a chance there with a man on second. And so far, it's been a pretty tight game. Don't change the channel. We'll be back. So we welcome you here back to Hank Greenberg, and just some pretty big news as it comes up to the box, as there's been some miscommunication so far in this game, as the score is actually 7-4. So now the South Patriots even have a little bit more urgency than we thought they did, down 3 runs instead of 2 here, and time's running out here for the South Patriots, as we'll fix that on the scoreboard now. 7-4 Nitro Wildcats.
And we will fix that here as well. And that run, the run in question that they said down on the field counted, was during the rundown in the 3rd inning, that he crossed the base just before they were able to tag the runner, which means that the run does count. Something that, as we were watching the rundown, we unfortunately did not hear the umpire say that the run counted. So you're right. Urgency now, as we are in the top of this 6th inning. The Patriots really looking to play tight defense here, as Solomon Shamblin makes his way into the box, and the Patriots at this point really have to hold.
So once again, another batter up who was able to score in that first inning, but since then, not really getting on base, of course. But
he's had some hits down the third baseline and to second base, but has been not able to get there before the out. So pitch count now 1-1 for Shamblin.
And the pitch will come in, and it gets away from Burtis.
And this is a new pitcher on the mound for the Patriots.
Number 34, Dustin Helmick, will come to the mound, as Hamilton did have a little bit of trouble there in that last inning with closing out the inning, but still prevented any runs coming in there at the end. So Coach Noll has decided to bring in another pitcher.
And the pitch count now is 3-1. And that is strike 2. We move to full count, Brandon.
So we haven't really been able to scope out so far Helmick's pitches. And he will throw a fastball, teasing the strike zone there, but that will be the 3rd strike, and that'll be the first out.
Up to bat for the Nitro Wildcats is number 17, Corey Dunbar.
And Corey Dunbar, the catcher for the Nitro Wildcats, is up to bat.
And Helmick had a nice series of pitches there, and we'll see what he has in his arsenal. And they're calling that strike 1. And I can honestly assure you, Brandon, that being an umpire is not a job that I would have.
There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders there as being an umpire, and you draw up that strike zone, and your strike zone and a fan's strike zone might not match up pretty well, and we have seen that earlier in this game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It takes a very special individual to be an umpire.
And something else I'd like to point out so far, Dunbar, every time he's been at bat, has actually gone on base. Pretty good situation here for the Nitro Wildcats, as they would really like to have a man on first, obviously. But now with the Dunbar up, as we know he can play baseball, is up to bat. So see what he can do.
Pitch count now 2-1. Dunbar has been able to convert every single time. Actually, he was walked once, but he's hit to the outfield, to the right field once, and to left field once with that home run in the 1st inning.
So he will await the pitch here.
And that'll be ball high. Pitch count 3-1.
So once again, Dunbar awaits the pitch. And the ump will call that one a strike.
So again, Helmick shaving the strike zone on that pitch.
And he will pop that one up.
And it looks like, oh, and Helmick was not able to hang on to it. Looks like the sun got him. So Helmick will make his way back to the mound as Dunbar makes his way back to the batter's box.
So both players there, Helmick and Burtis, could not find the ball in the sky as Dunbar awaits the pitch once again. And that one will be inside as he takes his base.
And the first walk in several innings now by the Patriots.
So Jacob Brown will come in to bat.
And there will be a courtesy runner for Dunbar. This will be number 16, Tyler Barton. So the umpire has to make the correction on his sheet to be sure that everyone is accounted for. And Brown, as you pointed out before, left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher.
And that one almost gets away from Burtis as he runs up. Check it first. So the tone of this game has really mellowed out, as I guess you could say. Not as much hits, more strikeouts as we've seen later into this game.
Difference in pitchers and pitching styles.
And also difference in play, just all around by the defenses of both defenses, both really tightening up in the infield and the outfield.
And they're going to call that last one a ball. So the pitch count now is 3-0. Interesting.
He'll check back to first. And he will take his batter also.
So we have two back-to-back walks now for the Patriots, and another courtesy runner coming in. This will be number 1, Evan
Wildcats is number 8, Tyler Godby.
Ike. I'm going to apologize now for pronouncing his name incorrectly.
So Tyler Godby will step up to the batter's box. Godby has scored once so far in this game.
That is correct, Brandon.
And the pitch will come in, and it'll be an off-speed pitch, and it'll be a strike.
And South really has to play good defense here.
Yeah, your leadoff man's on second. There's also a man on first. And with a hit like that, it is not good for the Parkersburg.
Nice hit into the gap, and it's going to go right to the fence. And that is going to score 2 runners.
And that will make the score 9-4 here as the Parkersburg South Patriots seem to be falling behind. The Nitro Wildcats keep on moving.
So Tyler Barton and Evan Ike score there on that nice double by Tyler Godby.
So Spurlock, who has also scored once today, has came to the plate. And that one will be inside. And you have to think here, if Helmick gives up another big hit or he walks another person, I mean, there might be another pitching change.
I would have to agree with you, Brandon.
And that's one thing that we've seen throughout the season with the Parkersburg South Patriots. They have depth in their bullpen here. As the Parkersburg South Patriots, when they played the Parkersburg High School, if I'm not mistaken, they put in 3 or 4 different pitchers before the game was over. So definitely depth in their bullpen. And we'll see if they decide to take out Helmick after this inning.
Helmick trying for the out at second, was unable to get it. And then yet again shaves the strike zone one more time. Pitch count now 2-1. As sunset begins, and another big hit.
On center field, and it will be a base hit as he will attempt to score the man in at second, and he
does.
easily crosses home plate to make the score 10-4, Nitro Wildcats.
So we were Spurlock able to make it only to first, but was able to get the RBI.
And Levi Whitehead will come up to the plate.
Up to bat now for the Nitro Wildcats is number 7, Levi Whitehead.
And Coach Null does come to the pitcher's mound to talk it over with Helmick, as does Bo Burtis. Or excuse me, not Helmick, they actually changed on us. And the new pitcher in will be Brad Brubaker.
So Brubaker we have seen before.
And he warms up here, and already automatically his first 2 pitches, both fastballs. And that one appeared to be low and gets away from Burtis. So, so far, not a very good ending here for the Parkersburg South Patriots.
Burt is checking his hand there after that warm-up pitch. And Burtis catches with his left hand but throws with the right. And it is the right hand that we have seen some injury on.
So like you said just a minute ago, the sun is starting to go down. We're just now approaching 8 o'clock. And Brubaker will end his warm-up pitches, excuse me. And it appears that, will it still be Whitehead? Yes, Whitehead will come back to the batter's box. And the pitch comes in, and Whitehead will foul that one out of play.
So the pitch count 0-1 here, as Brubaker takes his first batter. Ball high.
So this will be the 4th pitcher for the Parkersburg South Patriots tonight.
That is fact.
And the pitch comes in, and this one inside.
So the pitch count now moves to 2-1.
Once again, fouls that one behind him.
Pitch count now 2-2. And as the sun goes down, they prepare to have the lights come on as we remain in the top of the 6th.
I remember there's only 7 innings in high school baseball.
That is correct.
So the Parkersburg South Patriots so far done 6 runs. We're in the 6th inning out of 7. They need 6 runs now, like I've said. Definitely need the rally caps on to come back and win this one.
And it is a nice hit out to center field. They can scoop it up, get it back in. So now we have runners at first and second. Spurlock moves to second on that single by Whitehead as Ryan McDonough comes into the box.
And third baseman Ryan McDonough will come to the batter's box. And so far,
it is Levi Whitehead's first hit, Brandon, actual hit of the night.
And we have seen McDonough strike out 1 time already tonight.
And they do call that one a strike.
And he watches that one come in. He waits the pitch and it'll come in. And he will swing and miss to make that the second strike, 0-2.
And I'd like to see Brubaker do that one more time.
Remember, there still is only 1 out in this inning here, as it's been pretty lengthy.
And that has been one thing until this inning, that we have seen a very close game offensively and defensively, even though the score doesn't really reflect that. But the 3 runs in this game certainly have pushed the limit here, or in this inning have pushed their limit here. And that will be a strikeout as he looks at it for the second out of this inning.
Up to bat now for the Nitro
So Justin
Wildcats,
Clark
number 10,
will come to the
Justin
batter's
Clark.
box.
Clark has had 1 hit so far this game and 1 walk.
And he hits that one down to left field, and it will be fouled.
So that brings up strike 1. I'd really like to see the opportunity for this game to get just a little closer.
Maybe see a few extra innings. I haven't been able to see any extra innings all season so far.
Neither have I, Brandon. That'll be strike 2.
Count will now be 0-2 with 2 outs left in this. With 2 outs in this inning, excuse me.
That ball was way to the outside. Brubaker not really rushing through anything. He's taking his good, sweet time, checking his runners and making sure it's the pitch he wants.
And that'll make the count full.
Nope, that'll make the count 2-2.
Excuse me.
Brandon, I think you need to take a borrow my little spectacles there for a minute there, buddy. And he fouls that one. Clark remains alive in the box, and the count remains 2-2. Pitch to the outside again.
Now the count is 3-2. Full count. As Brubaker has to be tiring himself out, taking his time between each pitch and now throwing a 3-2 count.
Well, that is certainly something that Jacob Brown for Nitro did not do. He did not. And there was an error as the second baseman fails to catch that ball, allowing the steal to third. Spurlock wasted no time getting there. But Whitehead remains at first.
And I mean, just a good awareness there for Spurlock. Good base running. Saw that Johnson couldn't get scoop that ball up and automatically took off to third. Once again, just great base running there by Spurlock.
Need a little more energy going on in the outfield. One of the things, as I started to say, Brandon, was Jared Brown for Nitro did not take his time between pitches. He comes in, he pitches, he gets ready to go again. Brubaker trying for the out at first there.
And that's something that you don't usually see with a pitcher checking at third and then automatically going back to first. Kind of interesting.
That seems to be the word of the game, Brandon.
Interesting.
Base on balls, run is scored.
And Whitehead overruns second base. And a potential out there for the Parkersburg South Patriots. But Brubaker cannot get the ball to second.
And so the score now moves to 11.
That now for your Nitro Wildcats is number 6, Daniel Ramsey.
And Ramsey returns. We go back to the top of the order here, Brandon. As Ramsey returns, we have 2 outs so far in this inning.
And he's throwing right to shortstop as the Parkersburg South Patriots finally close out of this inning. So definitely not, once again, not a very good inning for the Parkersburg South Patriots, as now the deficit goes up to 7. So Nitro Wildcats starting to pull away here, trying to close this game out early. We'll be right back. And once again, we see Brown back on the pitcher's mound. Nitro trying to close this game out. And as we've noticed up here, as the sun drops, so doesn't the temperature.
Yes, it does. I had forgotten about that in this booth. But Brown, even as he's warming up on the mound, doesn't take a lot of time between those pitches. It's one and then another.
And like we were talking about that before the break, I mean, Brown just wants to get in and get out. He doesn't want to waste his time checking around at the bases. He wants to throw his pitches and go back to the dugout.
Don't make a
Now
mistake.
up to bat for your Parkersburg South Patriots, number 25, Braxton Johnson.
He really watches the runner, but unless he sees the opportunity to truly make the throw, he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
He knows where those runners are, and a couple of times I thought he was going to throw and didn't. And here's the first pitch.
And after that, we see a ball out of Brown.
I want to hit there, but behind the press box, so that'll be foul ball. Pitch count moves to 1-1.
And Johnson, who has scored twice tonight, more of a speedy guy than a powerful guy, as he pops that one up down the third base line toward the Nitro dugout, and the third baseman overruns it.
And I think that one was lost in the glare of the lights as the lights are coming on now.
Can't win.
These are just some of the challenges of baseball that as these young players continue to move on and continue to play in whatever level they choose. And another hit that's going to foul back behind the press box. They're going to have to get used to. So the pitch count now remains 1-2.
And like I was saying before, Johnston, more of a speedy guy, only a sophomore, started for the Parkersburg South football team, as he grounds this one right to first, and the first baseman can't snatch it up.
And he will be safe at first as Brown really tries to hustle over, but they just can't make the play. So the Patriots now have an opportunity as they have Johnson at first. And Brandon, let's see what his speed will do for him here on the base paths.
known for stealing a lot, Johnson is. And so it won't surprise me if Jacob Brown checks back to first a lot.
And Helmick in the batter's box for the Patriots takes his first look at what Brown has, and we see yet another ball.
So we have Braxton Johnson here at first, more of a speedy guy, and now Helmick up to bat, who we know is a powerful hitter as he watches that strike come in.
And Brown shaving the edge of that strike zone as well.
He grounds that one in a potential for a double play here, and it won't be.
So Johnson is out at second for the
Up to bat
first
now for
out,
your Parkersburg South
and
Patriots
Helmick
is number 32,
safe at
Wes
first as they
Mitchell.
missed that double play.
And so Wes Mitchum will come to the batter's box. Mitchum, who has got on base one time tonight, and that was in the first inning.
And the umpire asking for a new ball, or an extra one. Brown checking his runner.
That one is inside for a ball. Trying to count 1-0 with one out in this inning. Nitro Wildcats are still up 11-4. And Mitchum will hit that one down center field, and it'll be a base hit as Helmick advances to second.
Up to bat now for your Parkersburg South Patriots is number 4, Jacob Wilcox.
So number 4, Jacob Wilcox, now comes into the batter's box.
Patriots now have runners at second and first with an opportunity here. And Wilcox's performance will determine what happens next. And he watched that strike come straight in.
And once again, we see that nice curveball there by Jacob Brown. And he swings at that one.
And I'm not sure why. I have to be real honest. I'm not sure why he took the swing at that.
And that would make the count 0-2.
Yes, it is.
So as Wilcox awaits the pitch,
And that will be strike 3
and
as he watched it come in.
a surprising strike there, as teasing the edges of that strike zone.
And the fans are not happy, and I can understand that.
As Brad Brubaker will come into the batter's
Up to
box.
bat now for your Parkersburg South Patriots, number 20, Bradley Brubaker.
And that one comes up high, and that'll be ball 1. Makes the count 1-0. It's another 2 outs in this inning, with the Nitro Wildcats still up 11-4. Brubaker will hit that one down the right line and to right field, and it is snagged in for the 3rd out. So now that is the end of the 6th inning, last inning here for high school baseball, of course. So Parkersburg South Patriots have one more inning to score 7 runs to tie this ball game up, or even score more to win. So it's time to get aggressive and start swinging the bats a little bit better than they have before. And this is Nitro's last chance to put some more runs up on the board. And to lead off the 7th inning for the Nitro Wildcats, it'll be number 12, Solomon Shamblin.
Up to bat for the Nitro Wildcats is number 12, Solomon Shamblin.
And let's see what Brubaker can do here.
Shamblin awaits the pitch. Here it comes. And it'll be strike 1. 0-1 is the count. That was a ball low. Once again, the pitch comes in, and it is fouled out of play.
So the pitch count is 1-2.
As here comes the pitch in the middle, as Shamblin will hit it that one.
And it's going to go just foul, and outfielder just couldn't get there quite in time. So he lives to see another pitch in the batter's box.
So the count is now 1-2. As that one is low and slightly to the outside to make the count 2-2. Still with 0 outs at the top of the 7th.
Well, this is our first batter.
Oh.
Oh, and there is a swing and a miss, and that brings us to our first out of the inning.
And our first batter gives us our first out of the inning.
Up to bat for the Nitro Wildcats
And
is number 17,
Here we see
Dunbar.
Corey Dunbar stepping into the box, who has had 2 hits and 2 walks so far tonight. And another nice hit. He really likes to go to center field.
And it kind of makes me wonder if North Carolina is looking at him for his offensive role or his defensive role, as he's pretty solid on both.
And he looked like he was making the turn to go to second, but thought better of it and came back to first. And he will have a courtesy runner. Again, that will be number 16, Tyler Barton. And Jacob Brown comes in,
Brown, once again, a left-handed batter.
and our right-handed pitcher on the mound.
And the first one was slightly outside to be a ball.
Now Brown has had no true hits this evening, 1 walk and struck out.
And once again, one slightly to the outside to make it the second ball to advance the count to 2-0.
And that will bring us up to 3-0 as Brubaker consistently is going to the outside of the plate.
As we probably look for a fastball here out of Brubaker. Right down the middle. As we knew that Brown probably wouldn't swing at that one.
Let's see if we can do it again.
So the count's 3-1. And Brown will take his base.
And that is the second walk in as many innings for Jacob Brown. And again, a
Up
courtesy
to
runner
bat for the
coming in
Nitro
for him.
Wildcats
That is
number
Evan
8,
Ike.
Tyler Godby.
And again, I apologize if his last name is mispronounced.
So Tyler Godby will come to the plate. And the last at bat for Godby, he really got a hold of one and hit a double.
Right to the fence. Again, he likes to go right out to center field, as he has done successfully 2 times this evening. And that would be ball high, Brandon.
That'll make the count 1-0.
And the Wildcats with runners at first and second.
It's a pretty dangerous situation here for the Parkersburg South Patriots, as you have a hitter up that we definitely know he can hit one to the fences, and 2 men on. You're down 7 runs. Pretty dangerous predicament here for the Parkersburg South Patriots, as we see a couple players go out to the bullpen here. That's got to be pop that one up.
And they're going to call it foul ball because it dropped just to the right of the first base line, apparently. And it was a little confusing, as Brubaker was going after it and, of course, was standing in the first base line, which technically
Is illegal.
Yep. And then as the ball comes down, and it just misses hitting Godby as he's going to first. And so we have another ball coming at Godby there. So the count is now 3-1. And Godby remains alive as he gets a piece of it and fouls it back.
Now to make the count full. Godby awaits the pitch. And he reaches for that one, and it'll be caught.
And almost a double play, but it was a bad throw there by the second baseman.
And good awareness there by Braxton Johnson.
Up to bat now for the Nitro Wildcats is number 15, Ben Spurlock.
So designated hitter, number 15, Ben Spurlock, will come to the plate.
He's had 3 hits tonight, both of which resulted in RBIs as he fouls that one back. And he has scored twice this evening as well.
So now there's 2 outs in this inning, the top of the 7th. Nitro Wildcats are still up 11-4.
And we have another one at the plate that we know can hit and likes to hit into that center field area and can get it way out there, but he does not this time. Scoops it up, and
Kind of dangerous play there for the Parkersburg South Patriots, where
yes, it was.
the shortstop can just go over and hit second base, and that would be the last out, but he decides to throw the first and gets it. So a pretty well played inning there by the Parkersburg South Patriots. Good defense, as we will come to the bottom of the 7th. Don't turn the channel. We'll be right back.
And actually, Brandon, as we have the opportunity to talk a little baseball, as I was doing while you were talking to our folks at home with Hank Greenberg, and you know, you blink once in this game right now, and it's the difference between a fair and a foul ball, which Mr. Greenberg and I were just talking about. As I saw it coming down, it looked like it was going to hit him and blinked, and what actually happened was it bounced inside the grass, hit inside the grass, and then bounced foul, and that created some confusion on one of the plays that we just witnessed.
Now for your Parkersburg South Patriots.
And it
is
appears
number
that
9,
Jacob Brown will
Hunter
at least
Hamilton.
try to find, as the Parkersburg South Patriots have to score 7 runs to at least get into extra innings here with the
And
Nitro Wildcats.
Hunter Hamilton is up to bat now for the Patriots.
As he hits that one up, the shortstop will get under it, and he will haul it in for the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
And that was Hamilton's first at bat this evening. And now it looks like number 14,
Up to bat now for your Parkersburg
is
South Patriots is
Jake
number 14,
Mason.
Jake Mason.
And Coach Nall putting in some pinch hitters, as it were.
And that one is inside for ball 1. Making the count 1-0 with 1 out.
That'll be strike 1. So we now move to 1-1. Oh, ball way outside, something we haven't seen a lot of from Brown in this game.
And the pitch will come in once again, and another one to the outside. That'll make the count 3-1 here with 1 out. And it is high, and the runner will take his base.
Up to bat now for your Parkersburg South Patriots is number 29, Tyler Berry.
So Tyler Berry will come to the batter's box.
And Berry has had 3 hits so far this evening. And as he fouls one back,
Berry, I guess you could say he's having a pretty good night tonight. 3 hits, 4 at-bats. So, I mean, you can't say that's not a very good night for Berry. Just not a very good night for his team so far. And that'll be a ball to make the count 1-1.
and Berry doing that, but he moves the bat around a whole lot. Oh, and right back to the pitcher. Brown wasn't really able to hold on to it, but he did. And that will be the second out
Now up to bat
of
for
the
the
evening.
Parkersburg South Patriots is number 1,
And
Clay
we
Walters.
will go back to the top of the batting order as number 1, Clay Walters, will step into the batter's box. You have to think, a ball coming that fast back at you in the ground and hitting you would have to sting really bad. So with 2 outs now as a man on second,
He's going to have to shake that off a little bit if he wants to.
finish out this game. And as the first pitch, he gets Walters swinging for the first strike, making the count 0-1 with 2 outs and a man on second. Nitro looking to close this game out.
And he does. Dunbar gets that catch.
And it's kind of ironic that Corey Dunbar will get the last out of the game, I guess you could say, as a man that we've talked about all night, verbally committing to North Carolina, as the Nitro Wildcats defeat your Parkersburg South Patriots 11-4. Now, the scoreboard doesn't really show it, but this was a pretty close game.
You're right. There was close very early on until the top of the 6th inning. They were a lot closer than I'm sure than some imagined. But I have to say that offensively and defensively, they were pretty evenly matched until that point. There were some errors on both sides of the ball, absolutely. But the Patriots played a lot more like the Patriots that I have seen play in previous games.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to point out about this game is pitching. I mean, we saw Jacob Brown come in the first inning, kind of in a bad predicament, but was able to pull it out and just finished up strong there in the last inning. Once again, a lot of pitching changes for the Parkersburg South Patriots. And that's always hard for a pitcher to come in here late in the game, down a couple runs, and come back and win it for his team. So, I mean, I think the one thing that came down to it was pitching and kind of a couple errors on Parkersburg South Patriots defense side.
You're right, and there were also some errors on the Nitro side, but Nitro certainly came into this game with somebody that they thought would be able to close it out, and then they had to change pitchers in the first inning. And what a good change they made. Now, Chris Smith did a nice job for the Patriots. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to close it out, and pitching is kind of what this game came down to. It was nice to see that the Patriots' momentum was back, that their aggressive play was back, and you're playing a team that lost 6 of its starters last year, but obviously had 6 seniors to step up and take their place, although they call this a rebuilding year for Nitro. Was really pleased to see the Patriots' enthusiasm for baseball back on the field.
Yeah, and like you said before, Nitro, I mean, always just a powerhouse in baseball in West Virginia. And, I mean, it's pretty good to see the Parkersburg South Patriots come out here and pretty much give them a run for their money there until the end of the game. And to me, this game goes back to the old saying, defense is the best offense, as the final score was 11-4. The Nitro Wildcats defeat the Parkersburg South Patriots.
And we would like to thank Kanawha County Schools, Wood County Schools, for this opportunity, our partner in education, CAS Cable, for Callie Tanner and Brandon Leisure. We would also like to thank Hank Greenberg for hanging in there with us and keeping us straight. And we appreciate you, our audience, as well, allowing this broadcast program the opportunity to do these games and get some real-life experience for these kids who are looking to pursue either a part-time fun career when they graduate, something they can do and learn a love of media, or a full-time career as they look to continue their education in college or another journalism school. Again, your final score for the final time, the Nitro Wildcats 11, your Parkersburg South Patriots 4. Have a nice evening.